What is up, heroes? This is Midnight Zero, and welcome back to Hero vs. Zero Season 4. Like last week and the week prior, I'm not alone, though.
What's up, guys? It's Nate, and we have a really special challenge this week. But before we get into that, Nick, I think we should look at some of the great submissions we got last week.
Let's take a look back at some nice Shadow Man runs. I should start by saying both of us are really impressed with all of these submissions. We got actually a surprisingly high amount of submissions, especially given all of the trouble people were having in the Discord and all of the conversation going around. But it was really cool to see that a lot of people were sharing strategies, were commiserating together, and sharing in each other's, accomplishments as they did complete runs and posted them and shared them with each other. So it was a really cool experience. But looking a little bit more specifically, there were, of course, 3 people that placed above all the rest. So let's start with the third place finisher. And that is going to be Mr. Leo 1904. So taking a look at Mr. Leo's run, you're just going to find that it's clean, it's efficient, it's fast, it's a really solid run. He was able to complete the challenge on the regular difficulty, the Nick difficulty, if you will. It's worth mentioning, though, that he actually completed the stage damageless, and he did so really quickly, and the only damage he did take was on the boss battle, where he kind of had a little bit of difficulty with the 50-50s, and just got hit by Shadow Man's shurikens, which plenty of people, especially those who submitted for this challenge, will understand the difficulty of. But yeah, I mean, there's not much to say, much more than that. This is a really clean, really solid run. He takes out the enemies quickly, he's sliding for pretty quick platform movement. Do you have anything to add, Nate?
No, I mean, you said it already. The only issues was just with the 50-50s. He can either slide or throw shurikens, and they're so hard to react to that sometimes people just jump hoping he slides. Sometimes you get hit by shurikens, but, it's all random. But apart from that, it's such a solid run, and it was a really, really great submission.
Yeah, definitely great to watch, and was very pleased by it. So, and he was that close to getting that Nate difficulty. Just
so
the boss,
close. It's so many people are having troubles with just the boss.
Right.
So tons of people were able to do the stage damages, which was super impressive.
Yeah, 75% of submissions actually were able to clear the stage damage list, and this is including people that were playing Mega Man 3 for the first time, or people that played it for the first time in a very long time, or people that weren't even playing it on a typical controller or console and were playing it with a keyboard. There were a lot of people that really surprised us with how impressive of a submission they were able to submit. But enough being said, Nate, why don't you introduce the second place?
So second place goes to Taprus Light. Now, he's been on the show a couple times. He's no stranger to Mega Man, so it's no surprise that he has a really solid and a really fast run. Like, this guy, I've seen that Pro Man fight so many times, and I've never seen anyone demolish it as quick as Taprus did. It was so fast, so clean, it was so impressive. Generally, it was such a quick run. The whole thing was solid.
Fastest run.
Yeah, that's right. It was fastest by a couple seconds, maybe 5-6 seconds, I think, when comparing it to first place. But Shadow Man was also a really solid fight, really quick. There's not too much to say that hasn't already been said. These runs are just so solid. It's just that Taprus did it super quick out of everyone else.
Super quickly, there's also something worth noting is that when Taprus is playing, especially against Shadow Man, it feels like Taprus is really overwhelming Shadow Man. You see,
that's right.
Just there's unrelenting pressure, and that goes both ways. It was really interesting to watch. It's really cool. It's very fast-paced. It's flashy. It did lead to a little bit of lowered accuracy, which is also an aspect by which, after you have 2 people that complete the Nate difficulty, there were multiple modes by which we were comparing the different runs. So that's probably one of the only things that can really dock the run for. But aside from that, I mean, we were talking before with Mr. Leo about clean platform movement, sliding, and taking out enemies quickly. And Taprus is just, another level up. So definitely impressed with this. As soon as I heard that Taprus was going to be entering this particular challenge, I was just excited to see what his run was. So.
Yeah. And another thing is that between this and first place, it was so close and both runs were so impressive, we actually had to do a rough comparison and time them, which is the only reason we know that this one was
we did a
faster.
lot of We did a lot of very intense comparisons. But if you're interested in seeing more of Taprus's runs, you can always check out his channel, because that's what he does. But anyways, shall we get to first place?
Let's do it, Nick. See who won.
Alright. First place, for the second time in a row, is going to be Myerscodex or Ben. And this run, I was super impressed.
God.
It's so clean to start. That's something that's really important to me, is being able to go through the stage really quickly, really efficiently, but then also really cleanly. That's mostly with regards to accuracy. You can really tell when you watch Ben's run that he's putting each of the bullets, each of his shots, in a place with incredible intention. He's not wasting any movements. He's not wasting any shots. And when it also comes down to it, his run is actually overall a few seconds slower than Taprus's, but his Shadow Man fight, which was absolutely incredible, is actually a bit quicker, despite not firing anywhere near as many shots. I think he only missed 2 shots during the entire Shadow Man fight, which is incredible against a Robot Master that jumps at differing heights and sometimes doesn't jump at all when he decides to throw a shuriken or will slide. Just being able to do that, having the knowledge of the Robot Master, having put in so much time to practice, is just really impressive. And then of course, there's this one segment.
Oh, don't even get me started.
This one segment that I've never seen completed in such a way, which is crazy for a Mega Man game, for both Nate and myself, who are veterans, of the Mega Man Classic series, who have played through these stages tons and tons of times and watched other people play them tons and tons of times. Going through these parachuter segments, where he actually slides under them at times, was just incredibly flashy, incredibly risky, but not a reckless risky. A well-calculated, well-understood risk where he saw where the line was and danced right around it and was able to do so effectively, safely, and made it work. And that is something that's really impressive. So, incredible run. Congrats, Ben, to taking first place. And with that, you can see that our totals for everything up until this week are on the bottom of the screen now, where Ben is currently sitting in first place, TheHockeyGamer / Noah is sitting in second place, and Taprus / Vivi are tied for third place. And if you're interested in how many submissions there were, if you completed it or if you did not complete it, you can see in the description below as to everyone who did complete it and everyone who submitted an attempt. And I think that just about covers it. Like I said, I was really impressed with how much effort everyone put into beating Shadow Man, how skilled everyone got within a week, especially for those that hadn't even played the game before, and with how great of a community it was around sharing different strategies, sharing different ideas, supporting each other when the battle with Shadow Man was getting you down. It was really cool. So thank you to everyone who did submit an entry.
One thing is that I was actually super surprised every time someone would submit, I just submit this attempt or whatever, no big deal. And I'd watch it and the whole stage up to Shadow Man would be just clean and damageless. Mm-hmm. It was so impressive. And I actually want to say one thing about Noah, or TheHockeyGamer, who he's been on the grind all week, managed to get both the stage and the boss down, Shadow Man, damageless, but didn't make it in time for the deadline.
Yeah, that's true. And there were even some really creative runs. I want to give a shout out to DoesNotCompute, who did a pacifist run of the stage, which is something that we hadn't mentioned, that certainly wasn't our mind, but was just kind of an out-of-the-box, really interesting submission, and still managed to complete it. So yeah, I'm really, really impressed. It was definitely a fun challenge. But with that, let's move on to this upcoming week's challenge, and that is going to be a Pokemon tournament. If you're a veteran of Hero vs. Zero, this should not be surprising, but the idea is you need to sign up really quickly for a Pokemon tournament, because the biggest difficulty with these tournaments is always time. It always takes a while to communicate with your opponent, it always takes a while to get in touch with them, and it takes a while to actually conduct the matches, it takes a while to report them to me, where then I can tell you your next opponent, and again, we're trying to get this done in a week-long time period. It may bleed into 2 weeks, but we're going to be trying for 1 week. So I can't stress enough how important it is that you sign up and are ready to go for this upcoming week. We already have around 10 people who are interested in signing up. So again, please let me know based on the rules and everything if that's what you've been waiting to hear, because I know I mentioned it last week. But the format is going to be Generation 7 Ubers Singles. So Generation 7, that's Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, probably, what's the most recent. And Ubers, if you're not sure which Pokemon are Ubers, I'll be linking everything in the description. But that's everything above the overused tier. And that's going to include a lot of your legendaries like Ho-Oh, Lugia, Rayquaza, Groudon, Kyogre, Marshadow, Xerneas. All of that stuff. Pokemon that are generally considered really, really good. And it's a format that I think deserves a lot more attention than it does get. And I know that it's also one that a lot of people don't really dabble in because of the Pokemon are usually banned from stuff like Draft League formats and a lot of other tiers. So yeah, I would definitely recommend giving it a go, at the very least, if you're not familiar with it. And if you're not familiar with it and worried that, someone else is going to be so much better at it, it's probably something that even, advanced, experienced players are not super familiar with. And that's something else I want to mention is this is a tournament for everyone, whether you're completely new to Pokemon, whether you're super advanced. It's a great opportunity to get used to the competitive environment, to learn about the competitive environment in a fun, cooperative, competition. So definitely give it a go. As far as, the more specific rules, all of the typical Smogon clauses will be in effect. Those will be in the description as well, but they cover things like Species Clause, you can't use 2 of the same Pokemon, Sleep Clause, where you can't put 2 of the opponent's Pokemon to sleep, etc., etc. And, a couple more just kind of like logistical rules will be communication and timeliness related. So, no communication for 24 hours is going to be a forfeit. You need to join on the Discord, and you need to let me know what your time zone is so I can help facilitate matches. You need to save replays of your matches because all matches will be taking place on Pokemon Showdown, which is an online simulator. As long as you have an internet connection, whether that's on mobile or on your PC, you can participate in this tournament. You don't even need to own the games or the DS. And you need to be able to save the replays, which is something I can tell you on Discord, and be able to send those to me. And I think that just about covers it. The deadline for signing up will be tonight. So typical, I think 11:59 PST, this Sunday. Less than 12 hours from the time you're watching this video is the deadline for signups. So please do that as quickly as possible because battles will start tomorrow. And I think that covers most things. If it doesn't, it'll be covered in the Discord where all of the details will be very clearly laid out. You can ask other battlers questions, you can ask me questions, you can ask Nate questions, etc. Also, I know I've been talking a lot and Nate hasn't been as much, and that's just because I'm a lot more familiar with Pokemon than Nate is.
Yeah,
so
I'm completely clueless.
I know Nate has dabbled with competitive Pokemon a little bit, and I know that Hero vs. Zero was one of his first level plunges into competitive Pokemon, but it's a lot of fun. So if it's something you're not familiar with at all, I'd recommend at least giving it a try. And I think that about covers it. Again, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section, or more importantly and more effectively, head to the Discord and ask us directly there. We're more than happy to help. And I hope that plenty of you guys do come out to the tournament and participate and at least give it a shot. It's definitely a lot of fun, each Hero vs. Zero, and I'm pretty confident it'll be just as fun yet again. So, anything else worth noting, Nate?
No, I think you covered literally everything possible.
I mean, that's what we thought last week, but there were still little exceptions that came up here and there.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be something.
I don't know, maybe just the usual words of encouragement.
Yeah.
It can be pretty intimidating when you've got a couple people that know a thing or two about competitive Pokemon. But like 90% of people who enter are entering for fun. That's what I did. I'm completely clueless with Pokemon. And Hero vs. Zero was my first go at competitive Pokemon. And it was so much fun, even though I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah, I can't, vouch for it enough. It's a lot of fun. So, hope to see you guys in the tournament, but until next week, or hopefully not, but maybe the week after, when we're able to share the results, this has been Zer0.
And Nate.
And this mission is complete.